Let me ask you something, and I really want you to think about this, really. When was the last time you told someone the truth and they thanked you for it? Go on, think, right? You're struggling, aren't you? Because somewhere along the way you learned that honesty doesn't make people love you. It makes them leave you. Please, they won't tatter you, wife. And I promise you, by the time I'm done, you'll never look at the word honest the same way again. They gave you a rule book when you were a child, didn't they? Always tell the truth. Honesty is the best policy. Be real. Be authentic. Beautiful advice. So you tried it. You told your friend their idea was bad. They stopped talking to you. You told your boss their plan wouldn't work. You got overlooked for the promotion. You told someone you loved them honestly, fully without games, and they called you too intense. Funny, isn't it? The world tells you to be honest, and then it punishes you for it. This is not an accident. This is a system. A carefully designed, socially reinforced system where lies keep the machine running, and truth throws a wrench into everything. I know this system. I've studied this system. And today I'm going to break it apart for you, piece by piece. If you stay with me for the next 20 minutes, you won't just understand society differently. You'll understand yourself differently. Let's begin. The pain you've been hiding. You've felt it, haven't you? That specific, quiet kind of hurt. Not the dramatic kind. Not the kind that makes you cry in public. The kind that sits in your chest at 2 a.m. The kind that whispers, "Why does everyone else seem to get away with lying while I get punished for being real?" You said something honest once, in a meeting, at dinner, in a relationship. Something true. Something that needed to be said. And the room shifted. People went quiet, eyes looked away, someone changed the subject. And later, much later, you heard they'd been talking about you behind your back. "Oh, she's too blunt. He doesn't know how to read the room. Too negative, too much, too much. Too much truth in a world built on comfortable lies." Let me tell you what actually happened in that room. It wasn't that your truth was wrong. It was that your truth was dangerous. Not dangerous to them. Dangerous to the version of reality they had all silently agreed to maintain. See, every social group has a script. A shared story everyone agrees to perform. We're doing great. Everything's fine. This is working. And when you walk in without your costume, when you say the thing no one will say, you're not just being honest, you're exposing the performance. And nobody forgives the person who ruins the show. You didn't do anything wrong. You just refuse to wear the mask. But here's the question that should be keeping you up at night. Why does the mask exist in the first place? Stay with me. The Hidden Truth Society was never built for honesty. Let me tell you something no motivational speaker will ever tell you. Society was not designed to reward honesty. It was designed to reward cooperation. And cooperation is real cooperation. The kind that holds civilizations together doesn't always require truth. It requires agreement. Think about it. Every institution you interact with, your workplace, your family structure, your social circle, your government, all of them run on a network of polite, agreed upon fictions. Hard work always pays off. Good things happen to good people. People are fundamentally kind. Beautiful lies. Necessary lies, some would say. Because if everyone suddenly became ruthlessly honest, half the marriages would end by Tuesday. 2/3 of the friendships would dissolve by Thursday. And the entire corporate world would collapse before the weekend chaos. Now you're starting to understand why they hate me. Not because I'm wrong, because I'm right. In the dark night, I didn't blow up hospitals because I was insane. I blew them up to show Gotham what they already were beneath the surface. Remove the rules, remove the structure. And what do you get? You get the truth. People don't hate honest people because honesty hurts them. They hate honest people because honesty forces them to see themselves. And most people have spent their entire lives carefully building a story about who they are. A story where they're the hero, a good friend, the loving partner, the fair boss, and the honest person. You walk in and you reflect something different back at them. Not maliciously, not cruelly, just accurately. And that mirror is the most terrifying thing in the world. So they don't thank you. They don't learn from you. They destroy the mirror. This next is the most important thing I'll say today. The realization you were never the problem. I want you to stop for a moment. I want you to think of one person in your life. Just one who made you feel like your honesty was a flaw. Got them? Now I want you to ask yourself, were they an honest person? You really sit with that, because I've noticed something after all my years of watching people watching this city tear itself apart and call it civilization. The people who attack your honesty the hardest are almost always the people with the most to hide. Your coworker who called you too blunt in the meeting, they were the ones inflating their numbers. The friend who said you make everything awkward by saying what you think, they were the one talking about you when you walked out of the room. The partner who said you were too intense for wanting real conversations, they were the one performing a version of themselves they couldn't sustain. You weren't the problem, you were the evidence. And here is where I want you to feel something, not just understand it intellectually, but feel it. Every time your honesty cost you something, a friendship, an opportunity, a relationship that was not a failure, that was a filter. Life was showing you, with brutal clarity, who could not handle the full weight of who you are. You're not too much. You're just too real for people living in performance. I know that doesn't fix loneliness. I know that doesn't bring back the people you lost, but it should change the story you tell yourself at night. The story isn't I'm broken because I'm honest. The story is, I am one of the few people left who still has the courage to live in reality. And that's not a weakness. That's the rarest thing on earth. The mindset shift. Stop apologizing for your truth. So what do you do with all of this? You can't change society. You can't make people want truth when comfortable lies feel so much safer. But you can change your relationship to your own honesty. Step 1. Stop offering your honesty to people who haven't earned it. This is not about becoming cold. This is not about becoming fake. This is about understanding that honesty is a currency, and you've been spending it on people who don't value it. Not everyone deserves the real version of you. Some people only get the version that's appropriate for their level of depth. That's not dishonesty. That's discernment. Step 2. Stop needing your honesty to be received well to feel valid. Here's the trap most honest people fall into. They tell the truth, they get rejected, and then they start to doubt the truth itself. No, the truth doesn't become less true because someone is uncomfortable with it. The truth doesn't require applause to remain the truth. Step 3. Find your people. They exist. I promise you. There are people in this world who are so hungry for realness that when they meet someone like you, someone who says what they actually think, who doesn't perform, who doesn't pretend, it feels like water in a desert. Those are your people. And you will never find them if you keep softening yourself to fit into rooms that were never built for you. Step 4, and this is the one that changes everything. Stop treating your honesty as something that happens to people. Start treating it as something you offer selectively, with precision, with intention. The Joker wasn't honest with everyone. He was honest at exactly the right moment when the mask needed to come off. Learn to choose your moments, not to hide your truth, but to aim for it. The transformation. What happens when you stop shrinking? Imagine this. 1 year from now, you've stopped apologizing for the way you think. You've stopped twisting yourself into smaller shapes to fit into rooms that exhaust you. You've lost some people. Yes, people who needed you to be smaller fell away. People who needed you to pretend drifted. People who couldn't handle your clarity quietly disappeared. And in their place, silence, not the lonely kind, the clean kind, the kind of silence where you can finally hear yourself think. And then, slowly, not all at once, the right people start arriving. Not many. Honest people rarely need many, but real ones. People who don't flinch when you say the hard thing. People who match your depth instead of running from it. People who look at the unmasked version of you and say, finally, someone real. That is the transformation. Not a dramatic explosion. Not a sudden revolution. Just the quiet, profound peace of a person who has stopped performing for an audience that never deserved the show. You know what the Joker's greatest trick was? It wasn't chaos. It wasn't the explosions. It was that he refused to pretend. In a city full of people hiding behind money, status, reputation, he was the only one saying exactly what he saw. They called him mad. But he was the only one in Gotham who was completely, terrifyingly free. The deepest truth. Let me tell you the deepest truth. Not the convenient one. Not the one that makes you feel better and click away. The real one. The world does not hate honest people because they're wrong. The world hates honest people because they're brave. And bravery, real bravery, the kind that lives in small daily moments, is the most threatening thing a human being can display. Because if you can live honestly in a world designed to reward performance, if you can stand in a room full of masks and refuse to put one on, you become living proof that it's possible. And living proof is dangerous, because it removes every excuse everyone else has been using. I had no choice. That's just how the world works. You have to play the game, and then you walk in, and you're not playing any game, and you're still standing. Do you understand now? They don't hate you because you're flawed. They hate you because you make their excuses look exactly like what they are. Excuses, so the next time someone punishes you for your honesty, you get overlooked, excluded, or called too much. Don't shrink, expand. Because the world doesn't need more performances. It needs more people willing to burn the script. So here we are. If something in this video felt like it was written specifically for you, it was. Leave a comment below. Tell me which moment hit you the hardest. I read them, more than you know. If this gave you something real, something you've never heard said out loud before, hit like. Not for the algorithm. For the next honest person the algorithm shows this to. Subscribe. Turn on the bell. Because this world is full of channels telling you what to think. I'm just here to tell you what it is. They don't hate your honesty. They hate that your honesty makes their lies visible. The world told you to be real, and then it punished you for it. That's not your flaw. That's the world's confession. In a city full of masks, the most dangerous thing you can do is show your face.